we'll have this blank line and with a script font of fit. Now we have lots of words that people could choose. Actually, part of the class is going through a word choice of what they want to have it to be. The question I see in the chat right now is, will it be in Espanol? I won't even say Spanish because it's Espanol. And the answer is sí. We actually will have all this in Espanol. We're actually recording the 30 days of support in Espanol natively, and so it'll be there for you, and we are excited to be doing that. And I just wanted to show you really quickly, this is kind of like how you do these little measure, like this free support that we'll have will be in a course format. We'll also have it in just different video formats that you can grab and use, and you can use this to engage people and let them see that you're not just having them buy a product, but you're having them buy a product and have some support on how to do this. And I'd love just really quickly to share with you one little portion. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but a little piece of a video so you can see kind of what is there to be expected. And let me go ahead and hit play on this.
Take a few moments to center yourself. Take 3 deep, cleansing breaths and capture how you feel today. Be honest with yourself. These 5-minute check-ins are for your benefit. Rate your average energy levels over the last 7 days. 1 equals extremely low energy. 10 equals abundant energy. Rate your mental clarity and cognitive performance over the last 7 days. 1 equals brain fog or mental haze, and 10 equals mental clarity and task capability.
Yeah, so I don't want to make us watch that entire thing, but the point is that we have lots of powerful video content, all built and centered around metabolic health and all these positive things. We're actually doing this in partnership with Prime Meridian. So we've gotten our doctors here at doTERRA on the Prime Meridian side to come in and help us with metabolic health coaching class. And this is pretty amazing. And so, yeah, we are really excited to show you all of this. And I also wanted to just go through what's going to happen in the month of December so you can be prepared. Now, we know December is busy. We know you want to hit the ground running in January. So I want to be very clear what I'm about to say. It applies to leaders, not customers. Okay, this applies to leaders, what I'm about to say. And we have this timeline here where we are going to launch this 30 days of free support so that you can see it only in English. Sorry, the Spanish won't be available until January 1st, but only in English. We will have all of this available for you on December 5th. So you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to explore it. You'll be able to taste it. I would say just get in there and see what it's all about so that you can be very prepared for this. We want you to be able to go through that now. doTERRA is going to be launching this campaign where you'll start seeing this, and I'll show you what it looks like out in the wild. But you'll see this start actually launching around the 16th of December. So you'll see our social media feeds start saying, what's your year going to be? What's your mantra going to be? What's your power to be what? And this will be there. Now, we are asking for all the leaders to say that this is a campaign that will launch from corporate on the 16th, but we will give you access to all this stuff ahead of time. Please don't share that. And we want you to have all the full support. One of the stats that I love to share all the time with leaders is that when we do advertising, a little known fact, sometimes people think that we're competing with wellness advocates, but the statistic is 99.97% of all money we spend on advertising comes back to attributed commission sales, meaning almost 100% of what we do out in the wild, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, comes back in sales for you. So we are excited about that. We are trying to give as much power to that as we can. So yes, December 16th, we'll be launching the campaign. We're asking for you to launch this at the beginning of the year, where you'll have this free support, the class, and then we'll start that 30 days of free support on the 1st of January, when you can start grabbing that and using it with your people. Hopefully they can order their MetaPower kits ahead of time and be ready to go with this. This enrollment class, it's an enrollment strategy. So we have a Power to Be workbook, a class script PDF that you can just use directly. You can take our PowerPoint, you can add things to it, you can take away from it, you can make it whatever you want it to be, or it's set to go the way it is right off the bat. We have a Power to Be MetaPower videos all coming out. And we have all the social media assets you might want. You can see here, like, how do you choose your word? We have a bunch of words for people to go through and kind of check. So there's some really awesome things happening. Also on Instagram, you'll start seeing some marketing from us coming like this, like Power to Be, and it has all the different words on there so that it's not just one thing that we're telling people they have to do. And that's our Q1 campaign that we want you to be ready for. I see a couple questions here. Do we have to launch with our teams on the 1st, or can we start date? You can start it whenever you want. Okay, so that's what we want you to tell. We are not mandating how you're doing this from doTERRA. We're asking for your respect, I guess, and saying we're not launching until the 1st per se when we're doing this with everybody, but we want you to take this and build your business with it. We've built this class so it can be evergreen, and you can use this throughout the year, but it's just a powerful way to start off the year. And, we always like to say that we're successful in doTERRA marketing when you're successful building your business. So this is all for you, the wellness advocates, to be able to build your business and have our leaders. I just want to make sure I got anything else here. Great. I don't see any other questions. So Jared, I think that's what I have for today. And thank you everybody for spending a few moments with me and letting me share with you this amazing campaign that we have coming up.
Scott, thank you so much. And let's give Scott extra thanks. He's joining from vacation today. So really appreciate you coming and jumping on. There were a couple questions. You answered these questions, but let's just reiterate. So our leaders are saying, well, we want to have access to this early. You mentioned this, but let's make sure we reiterate when that happens for everybody.
Sure. So December 5th, we will have the class, the course, the support, everything that's available for leaders to go in and join. The point of us doing that is so that you can experience it before you share it with your customers. So we want you to be able to get in. We'll have that on our Teachable platform, our course platform. It'll be free. We're going to enroll our leaders into that. So you'll get an invite into it. That way you can be safe and secure knowing, oh, I know it's coming up in January. I can get behind this and I can support it the way I need to. We're also going to have all that available in January on the DMK, on YouTube. We're going to have it in a bunch of different places. So you don't have to lock someone into coming into the course per se. We get lots of good success if people come into a course, but this is free support. So if you want to do it a different way, let's say you have a Facebook group and you want to share some of the videos we'll have all that available for you on YouTube and on the DMK. So you'll be able to take that and use it the way you want. I also saw another question here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so these resources are for everybody, right? I mean, this could be
Yes.
a brand new person coming in. This could be an existing person. It could be, any of our leaders, obviously on this call. We want you to be participating in this as well. It's kind of for everybody, right?
Yeah, it's for everyone. And in fact, one of the other questions I saw was, is the class editable? And when I say class, I'm going to say the PowerPoint that we've made available. The answer is yes. You can take it. Everything is clickable. You can change words. You can move it around. What we're trying to do is give you a lot of corporate support. So you have, like I said, Prime Meridian has gone and they have a metabolic health program that they actually do with people. They charge for. We got their doctors in the building. We said, hey, how can we make something very powerful that can help the most people possible? And they sat down and helped us script this and go through all the things. So it's done by doctors. And then we kind of, what I like to say is we doTERRAized it. We made it a little more fun. And so we made it a little more approachable than just having a lab coat doctor talk to you the whole time about everything. And so that's the content that we have for this and should be powerful. And yes, it's available to everybody starting on the 5th. Let me just reiterate, on the 16th is when you'll start seeing doTERRA marketing, like our Instagram. And I don't know if any of you have seen our TV commercials that we have in certain markets. We have 6 markets where we run TV and billboard campaigns. You'll start seeing that the Power to Be stuff start showing up to help people do that. And one of the questions for the course, yes, it'll be at training.doterra.com. And I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. Is Prime Meridian still operational? Yes, we are. And they do amazing. Yeah.
One of the questions I saw in there was, how did they get their face on top of the presentation? So maybe you could do a little training material for the market.
We get this every call.
I was gonna say, you know what we need to do next leadership call? We should just have me do like a 5-minute training.
Let's do that. Let's put that on the schedule there. Megan and Ashley, let's make sure we put that on the agenda for next time that we hit that, so Scott can teach everybody how to do that. But I think I've seen, most of the questions there. The questions about what are the e-markets. We can probably hit that pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I think we have like Sioux Falls, Orange County, California, Atlanta, there's one in Minnesota. I can't remember the other 2 right off the top of my head, but what we have, But
Well,
next year,
it was
just so
great.
everybody knows-
Dr. Osgathorpe and I, we were coming back from the Anaheim meeting that was in Pomona, and we were driving on the freeway there, and we just talked about MetaPower, we talked about everything, and there was a big billboard there. It was kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, and another question that just came up. Well, let me answer markets really quick. Next year, we have a plan. We're trying to make sure we can get it done, but we're going to rotate to 18 markets, and we're going to tell you ahead of time, like, hey, we're coming into town. You'll start seeing billboards. And once again, the stats that we got from the last time we did this study, which I want everybody to know, because sometimes we get people who are like, is doTERRA trying to create orphans or just no? It's 99.97% of our advertising dollars go straight to wellness advocate commissions, which is amazing, which is why we keep doing it, because we've seen that every time we advertise, it helps you make more money. One of the questions that came up was, is the 30 days different from the 30 days texting campaign that we did for MetaPower? And the answer is yes. The 30-day texting campaign is still available, but this is more, we like to call it free support. It's like being able to go get help on this journey that you're trying to make. And it's not just prompts, but it is like check-ins and like daily things that you could be doing to get there. So it should be great. Should be really good.
Great. Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate you joining with us. And yeah, any of the extra questions there, we'll hit them in the chat, or we'll take care of them after the call. But we do want to transition into Michael Sterling, our general manager for doTERRA Canada, and he's got a pilot program update for everybody.
That's right. So in Canada, we've been running a little pilot promotion for the months of November and December. And what this is for reactivations. So just for Canadian reactivations for these 2 months, and potentially that'll be more broad in the future. But for November and December, if you're reactivating, if a customer's reactivating after 12 months of inactivity, then we will pay fast start on that reactivation rather than unilevel. So this is a pretty big thing to shift, but so far it's been really exciting. We've seen some really good feedback. A lot of people are excited to reach out to people that they haven't reached out to for a long time to really make a difference with this promotion. And what we've seen has been a big difference. So comparing October to November, we've seen a 90% increase in reactivations. So we're hoping that by the end of this month, we'll be at double what we saw for reactivations in October to November. So we'll run it for one more month in December as well. And then we'll gather all of that data, and we're going to use it just to help everybody in doTERRA all together. So we're excited. Our account managers have been sending lists to our leaders to let them know who to contact. And we've seen a lot of great energy around it this holiday season. So we'll continue to give you guys updates as we get along, and I'll answer questions in the chat. I'm seeing a few coming in. So yeah, reactivation fee was still there. So people had to still pay the reactivation fee when they came back. And there's no PV requirement for their reactivation order. So if they ordered 10 PV or 100 PV, it was the same. We still paid fast start on that reactivation. Yep, and then can we move that person when they reactivate after a year? Yes, and that's separate from this promotion. So we just placements updated that policy at the beginning of November as well. So after 6 months, if someone reactivates, now the enroller can email placements. You don't need the reactivating person to email placements to move to a different position. So that's also an exciting update. Okay, awesome. I'll go through and answer other questions that are in the chat, but I hope that's exciting for everyone, and we'll update you as we continue to move forward with this pilot. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks everybody who's been participating. I've seen a few of our Canadian leaders in there saying that they've really enjoyed, kind of going down this road and, looking to reactivate some people who maybe haven't purchased for a little while and remind them how great doTERRA is. Another reason why doTERRA is so great, Healing Hands. Missy, you've got some updates for us. Let's hear what's going on with the 25 Collective.
I do, and I needed to come off of mute there. And I don't know how to do the face thing in front of a presentation. So Scott's got to teach me as well. So it's pretty cool. So I wish I could see all of your faces. That's the only problem with going this larger format, is that I love seeing your faces, but I've loved seeing your names come across here. And so many of you have partnered with us in amazing ways with doTERRA Healing Hands. And I'm going to really quickly just run through why. Why are we here with doTERRA Healing Hands? So I'm going to share a screen without my face. And here we are with the collective impact on humanity is really all of us. And so how do we do that? Well, there's 3 ways that doTERRA Healing Hands works together. It's co-impact sourcing, hope, and the match. And that's how we're empowering people worldwide to be healthy, safe, and self-reliant. Now, we cannot do that without you. And as you know, co-impact trips are coming back, which is so exciting. Those of you who have been on these know how I was on one with Miley and others, and it was so cool to be there serving and learning about the sourcing and the whole thing. Put your name in that drawing to go on co-impact sourcing trips. It's really important. And if you are, I'll tell you in a minute how you can get prioritized. So there's co-impact sourcing. We have the match program. A lot of you know about this, but what you might not think about is that it does take the match amount of funding off of the backside to be able to support you in this. So we have to be selling Hope and Rose and utilizing 100% of the donations that are given to really help you do the great good in your own communities through the match program. And if you want more on that, the website's doterrahealinghands.org. And then Hope. Hope is our action plan that fights human trafficking and victimization, and really, really cool things are going on there. I don't have time to go into those today, but would love to talk to you about those, and we'll talk more later about that. Well, what it comes down to is we need you. 100% of donations empower people worldwide to be healthy, safe, and self-reliant. And we are not going to meet our 2030 goals without working together. And I know Eric loves this photo. So Eric, here we are again. This is one of my favorite photos. And Eric was so instrumental in helping us really kick off this 25 collective at convention. What it is signing up on your LRP every month to be part of this collective and part of the group that is lifting the world through collective impact. We are changing the world through doTERRA Healing Hands. So if you do sign up, we've got the t-shirt, and you also get prioritized in those co-impact sourcing trips that I was talking about. The cool thing about this, if you run events, if you're running an event, inviting people, whatever you're doing, and want to sign up people, which we need you to be the missionaries of this, that if you want to sign up like 10 people, we will send you 10 shirts. And then you'll have them there, or we will have the shirts at events. We're not able to really send onesies of shirts because it gets too expensive and defeats the purpose of actually doing good in the world, but we could send a grouping. So if you run events, just let us know. Go to doterrahealinghands.org and there's a way to contact us. Or you can always contact me directly and I'll make sure it goes out. A lot of you have my email, but it's mwlarson@doTERRA, and I'm always here to serve you. I love working with you. You guys have incredible hearts, and I'm blessed beyond measure to work with you. So we're here, we're grateful. I want to make sure that you don't forget too that Hope has PV. Now for leaders, that's huge. Think about that. I'm not going to go deeper into that. You can buy 5 a month. That's all I'm saying on that one, but that one's really cool. It has PV now. Rose does not have PV, but is an amazing way to support doTERRA Healing Hands and get a beautiful product back. So just remember, those are some great ways of supporting the great work that's happening at doTERRA Healing Hands. And I'm so grateful to be with you all today. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks, Missy. Really appreciate that. And we just love the Healing Hands. We love what Hope is doing. We love what Rose is doing. We love what the matching programs are doing, what the 25 Collective is doing. In fact, and maybe we need to pause and thank so many people on this call for joining the 25 Collective, and even not just joining 25 Collective, that, and also just donating to Healing Hands, however you do that. With, just talking specifically about the 25 Collective, we saw over, what was the number? It was over 1,000 people now who
it's
are
amazing,
in
you
the
guys.
25 Collective, which, if you start thinking about that, that's an incredible.
It's incredible. Now, before this launched, we didn't have very many. less than 100 people that were giving 25 or month.
It was less than 20 people.
Yeah.
Now there were people who were giving more. Now we
Sure,
have to put
yeah.
the caveat that there were a lot more people giving more, but of that SKU that was giving the 25, there were like 17 people.
Yeah. In the first month, $35,000 came off of 25 Collective. And we're keeping that pretty even. So we need it to grow. But we're so grateful for those of you who have chosen to participate in this and be part of the collective.
Yeah.
It is just, I don't know. I'm so excited about this. And I don't know if you saw Janice Lindley's Thanksgiving post, but she showed, and I think that I have those pictures. So before we end, at the end, I will show you Janice and Corey and their whole family in 25 Collective shirts at KMR in Hawaii. And it's just so cool how people are really recognizing if we just give 25 a month, we can all lift the world. It's the coolest.
It is the coolest. I couldn't agree more. There was a question here, and I think I saw the SKU. So the SKU for the $25. So the question was, I think I joined 25 Collective at convention. I'm not sure that it's stuck. How do I make sure I check? So go into your loyalty rewards template, and you can go in there and add SKU 2004. Okay, that's the $25 donation to Healing Hands. So if you add that to your LRP, then you are joined there. Now, if you need the t-shirt and you need any of those things, get in contact with Missy and team, and maybe let us know what's the best way for them to get in contact with you. I think somebody shared your email in the chat as well. Yep. MW Larson at doTERRA.com. If there's any questions or anything there, make sure you reach out, because we want to make sure we recognize you as well as part of that collective.
Yes. Thank you all. And James is on here and he has been amazing. I just saw him post something. It's a doable and so simple solution to be an impact advocate. And I love another thing coming from one of the wellness advocate leaders is we're wellness advocates, but truly we are impact advocates. That's who we are as people, whether it's doing the doTERRA business and really engaging in these solutions. So thank you all for your impact advocacy. You are so amazing and inspirational.
Yeah, thank you. Had a question in there from Kelly. Jared, does it work in Canada? Just clarify that question, and we'll make sure we hit that in the chats. I know Michael,
do you want to take that, or do you want me to?
Yeah, we are currently working on that right now for Canada. So we're in the works. We're hoping to be able to have that for you soon. Thank you to Missy's team for working closely with our team to get that going, but we're excited about it.
Also, Australia is coming along really quickly as well.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much, and appreciate it. And again, if there's other questions in there, we'll be in the chat, making sure we answer all those questions, and in the Q&A as well. I know there's a few in there that we need to still get to. We are still working on, Dr. Riggs is on the call, but just from a technical standpoint, he's not on the right account. So we're going to try to get him into as a panelist here. So we're going to actually push that to the end. So if we can maybe jump into Mike and have you talk about December promos, and then we'll backtrack into our medical minute and talk about NMN. That's all right.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to be on the call. This is fun time to be together with everybody too, as we get really close to December, and some of the fun things that we're going to be able to see with some of the products that we have too. So let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen with you, and we'll jump right in. So this has been really cool for me too. I mean, this is my first holiday season here with doTERRA, and being able to see some of the products that we're showcasing today and that we're going to be launching for December. Really kind of fun stuff. And not to mention the fact that if you were able to join us at one of our post-convention tour events, we shared all these products. And I mean, I got to be honest, the Train Diffuser, it was a super popular product. In fact, Simone, myself, and Jared just did a video recently where I threw the train, and there was some concern that maybe we hurt the train. just want you to know that there was no products harmed in the filming of that video. So we're okay, but these are fantastic products. So let's go ahead and just kind of plug through. Launching December 1st, all products launching December 1st. There is a caveat to this, and that is the Malama collection is already available. So if you're online, you can see that today, but everything else December 1st. Great stuff. Some really fun sets available for people. And I think, for some of these things that you've become familiar with before, some really fun things to share as gifts as well. And we'll get into some of that here in a minute. But I think next up would be the frankincense with 200 PV, and you get 15 milliliter for free while supplies last. I understand this wasn't available last year. I don't know the whole story behind that, so we won't get into that, but it is here today. We're excited for it. And I think a lot of people are. I know there's been some discussion about when is this coming, and it's here. So really kind of fun and exciting stuff. Next, we have our 10% off for Douglas fir. This is all through the month, and I'm pretty excited about this too. I love the smell of it. It's actually, for me, and this next thing I'm going to share with you too, I love the smells of these furs. And so it kind of brings out that holiday spirit for me as well. So anyway, this is your 10% off for the Douglas fir 5 ml while supplies last. And next, we have our product of the month, the balsam fir. So this one, with an order of at least 125 PV by December 15th, and you'll receive the balsam fir 5 ml and a ceramic ornament for free. Again, while supplies last. This is pretty cool stuff. And then we have this is a fun blend. This is a really cool pairing, I think. I know that the bubble diffuser is super popular, and we can't keep it in stock, and everybody wants it, and it is way fun. So we're excited to have this as an offering for everybody, along with the Hygge Cozy blend, which I guess is pretty popular as well. I love the smell of it. It is fantastic pairing. I think it goes well with it together. I think that a lot of people have been excited about getting this back. So we're excited to share it with you as well. Again, this is fun. These are great gifts. This is fun stuff. All right, here is the gift guide for December. So I'll let you kind of look through some of these, but I know that as my wife and I have been talking about, what we want to give to people, so many of these things are great gifts that you can, stocking stuffer ideas. So be thinking about maybe what you want to do, who you want to give some things to, maybe how you can pair this with one thing or another. More details to come. I won't go through all of those in the pricing, but again, kicking it off December 1st, you should be able to go to the website and find all of the details for all of these products as they become available. And then last is that orders must be placed by or before December 15th if you want to receive by the 25th of December. So get your orders in as soon as you possibly can, just so that we have plenty of time to get those to you. We're excited for it. And hopefully you're as excited about this as I am. Love the season and love to get some of these fun products. I know other people do as well. So that is it for me. And I think Jared, I think we have Dr. Riggs with us finally.
We've got Dr. Riggs. Yeah, lots of questions in the chat about those incredible offers, particularly the bubble and the Hygge, and well, all of these LTOs, right? Our holiday team has put together some incredible offers, some of which are starting to sell out, that we started selling there, back in the beginning of this month. So these are limited time. Get them while you can. The bubble diffuser, $54 with 32 PV. So the bubble diffuser with the Hygge, $54.32 PV. And I think people are answering that in the chat as well. And there is a limit of 5 on those, the bubbles. So we're excited for that. I'm excited for those to get moving. But I'm also thrilled to have Dr. Riggs here with us. Really appreciate him as well. He cleared schedule. Monday is his day. He's in clinic. So he's clearing some time to be with us and talk a little bit about, NMN and Advantage and, a MetaPower and all the things that are kind of going on. So really appreciate you taking some time today and to talk about NMN. I mean, I just finished my Advantage for the day. Man, I am really loving it. It's made such a huge difference in my life, just feeling younger, you know, like and just feeling like I did years ago, feeling that energy, that focus, that sleep. I'm getting incredible sleep right now. So anyway, it's been amazing for me. And I know we could probably talk hours about all the things that we're feeling and all the benefits that we're getting, but there's some specific questions around NMN that have kind of been coming around lately. And how that applies to Advantage. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure, that sounds great. I know that there's been a lot of conversations about some things that have been happening recently with the FDA. They've come out with kind of a ruling that NMN is now going to be considered a drug. A lot of that has to do with a drug application for NMN from those that have been talking about this for a while. They've been applying for NMN to be a drug, and the FDA has made a ruling. Now there's lots to go through before this ever becomes a real thing. They've made a decision. That decision is being appealed by several companies. And so we currently are just kind of watching what's going on out there in the world. But just to be clear, the ruling is about NMN, and it's about synthetic NMN as being a pharmaceutical, which then synthetic NMN is very different than what we're doing here at doTERRA. We don't do synthetics. That's just not who we are. We do natural compounds. And so our NMN comes from a very natural source in our yeast extract. And so it isn't formed in a lab and then we add it to the product, which is what most of the NMN on the market today is doing. So it's very different from what everyone else is doing.
Let's talk even broader terms. So I mean, we're watching what's going on. We've got, our PR team, our legal team, our science and education team, all of our doctors, that we're watching what's going on there. We're moving forward. We're not slowing down. We're moving forward with this. But another part of that is not just the NMN as one of those precursors, right? It's a whole pathway that we're talking about. We talk about our source and where we're getting these ingredients. It's not just one ingredient. It's an entire pathway of ingredients.
Correct. So we use a yeast extract, which has the full pathway in it. And we talk about, I get a little concerned when we talk about the biosynthetic pathway, because we tend to term synthetic as being bad. Synthetic in this frame, it means synthesis, the biosynthesis, meaning created biologically, not synthetic meaning fake. So we have the full biosynthetic pathway in there because that's what life does. It doesn't create just the one thing. In our extract, or yeast extract, you get NR and NMN and NAD and NADH and niacin and the full biosynthetic pathway. And while we originally put on the packaging NMN and NAD, those weren't in any greater amounts than any other part of the biosynthetic pathway. It's all in their natural ratios, in their natural amounts, which, as we know at doTERRA, we're better able to metabolize, we're better able to absorb, we're better able to utilize than we would if we were to use a synthetic or a NMN that was created in a laboratory and then added it to a product. And so we've gone natural from the very beginning, which is why, Jared, we're not super concerned about this. We're not really worried about this. We feel quite comfortable with this. Now we may change some labeling and say yeast extract as opposed to NMN and NADH. There may be some changes coming down the road just to make sure that there's some clarification in this, not to hide anything, but just to say, no, ours is a natural yeast extract, a natural source of these things. But we're not worried about this really at all. And we'll continue to watch it and look at the science and look at what's going on legally and make sure that we're okay. But we're not worried about this at all.
Yeah, that's great. And I really appreciate it. We're getting, a lot of good comments in here. One of the questions, one of the more recent ones, how much NMN should we take per day? What does that look like for an individual? I know for me, it's slightly different than others.
Right, right. And what we're finding with our MetaPower, we tested this before we released it, and we tested it on a group of people here. But what we're finding when we're now open to thousands of people taking it, and I'm out in the markets and at events and talking with people, is that some people, it's just 1 sachet a day. For other people, it's 2 a day. And I've talked about this in my conversations from stage too, about it depends upon who you are and what your particular goals are. You may need 2. Now, keep in mind that when we're talking about the synthetic NMN from the FDA, they're talking about using 500 milligrams to a gram a day. We're nowhere near that. Even if you're using a couple of sachets a day, we're nowhere near that. And so please understand that what we're recommending from our standpoint is not approaching what the synthetic NMN that's out on the market today is recommending to everyone. So I would say 1 to 2 packets a day, you're well within range of having any concerns about what's going on in the market today.
Yeah.
So
wonderful.
yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. Riggs. Really appreciate you coming on. And I know there's a lot of questions in the chat, so we'll jump into the chat and start answering some of the questions there. But really appreciate it. Yeah, and one of the comments in there is 2 sachets. That's where I've found my best results.
Mhm.
I was doing the 1 in the morning, and I tried the 1 at the night, 1 in the evening, and I just wasn't feeling as good as I knew I could feel. And now
Yeah.
I've got the 2 sachets in the morning. I always say 2 in the morning, and people are like, wait, you wake up at 2 a.m. to take your sachets? No, 2 sachets in the morning is
Right.
kind of what I found has really worked well for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the MetaPower, PWR,
Right.
personal wellness realized. Figure
And
out
for
what
me, I've
works
been doing
best.
1 sachet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing 1 sachet in the morning until I did a 2-week trip for doTERRA internationally, and then spent a week at the cabin with my family to kind of reacquaint myself with my wife and kids. And I got on a scale this morning. I'll be doing some repenting with probably 2 sachets a day for the next couple of weeks, just to get back on the wagon where I was before all of that. So,
But again, personal wellness, right? This is our journey. And, we've got the incredible oil blend. We've got
Yeah.
the Assist product that I use daily to help make sure that I'm staying on track with where I need to be. So, with that, all 3 of those in that system, the oil blend, and it's, the beadlets, just the oil itself, the capsules, not the capsules, the soft gels, then you've got the Assist, and then along with the MetaPower Advantage. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful system. Wonderful system.
absolutely. Yeah. Avail yourself to all of those tools because they certainly have their place, and just figuring out on a personal basis, where do those fit for me? I particularly do low carb, so I don't take Assist with every meal. I take it in my highest carb meal of the day. And I have several meals where I'm doing no carbs. So therefore, the Assist isn't really for me during those meals. Only
Yeah.
meals that have carbohydrates, then I take that Assist, and it really helps me for sure.
Yeah. Love it. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, and really, really appreciate it. We've kind of made it through our entire agenda today. In fact, we're under that hour, which is great. But I do have a few comments that I want to make before we jump on. So
For sure.
thanks again, Dr. Riggs, for taking
Of
time out
course.
of your clinician day.
You bet.
Couple of comments that I saw that I want to make sure we put out there. So we've given you a heads up on what's coming for December. This is for you to start preparing. This is not to start blasting out there and talking to everybody at this point. This is for your preparation. As soon as December 1 hits, you're going to see all the incredible marketing material. It's all going to be out there for everyone to see. But that's to give you all just a little bit of a heads up and maybe to start preparing yourselves, but not to go and spread everywhere. One of the things that happens is when we give a little bit of information early is people start getting so excited about it. And we're excited too. I mean, that's why we wanted to tell you as well. But they start posting it online. They start blasting it out to their entire teams. We asked you to hold off on that until that 1st of December. So we do have that great launch on the 1st of December. And that in the case of many of your teams, so that people don't hold back an order that they were going to place in order to shift those dollars into another month. We want you to keep that volume within this month. Okay, so there's also a very practical reason for that. So again, please be respectful of that we're giving you a little bit of information ahead of time. use that in the right way. And then on December 1st, you're just a little bit more prepped and ready to go. And then we'll just start running, selling those bubbles, selling all those incredible holiday LTOs, really running with the frankincense. We're really excited to bring back that frankincense promotion, as it's been in years past. So anyway, if you'd all just do that for me, that way we can continue giving you heads up on what's going on as well. So you can be a little bit better prepared. Well, I don't know, Mike, Russ, Michael, anything else we need to talk about before we end the call?
I think we're good. Good job,
Okay.
Jared.
Good.
You're good here.
Excellent. Okay. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you
guys.
all.
See
Great
ya.
Thanks.